Princess Lyra stood alone on the highest balcony of the Crystal Palace, the cold wind touching her small hands, and the whole kingdom watching her with silent judgment. She was a royal daughter of the great house of Relia, but only 4 feet tall, too tiny for the famous genetic protocol, too small to be a true heir, too different to be accepted. All her life, she heard the same words whispered behind her back. She is a mistake. She should not exist. She cannot rule us. Lyra tried to ignore them. She tried to walk with her head high, but the palace walls had memories, and every corner reminded her that she did not belong. Tonight, she heard something wise. She hid behind a giant purple pillar as 2 royal scientists argued in low voices. The older one said, "The king does not want her to know, but the purity order must start soon." The youngest scientist looked scared. "But she is the princess." "She is a failed princess," the older one hissed. "Too tiny, too weak, too dangerous. The genetic protocol says she must be removed before she reaches maturity." Removed. The word hit Lyra like a blade. She felt her hands shake. She felt her chest tighten. She wanted to run, but her legs froze. The scientist walked away, leaving her alone in the dark corridor, alone with a truth she never wanted to hear. She whispered to herself, "They will kill me." Lyra backed against the wall, trying to breathe, when the palace lights flickered. Once, twice, then everything turned black. A low rumble came from the sky, followed by a sharp beam of light hitting the palace gardens. Guards panicked. Advisors shouted orders. The alarm rang louder than thunder. An unknown ship had entered royal space, and it was landing. Lyra stood frozen as metal wings unfolded in the darkness. The ship was not from her planet. Its design was sharp, silver, human. She stepped backward, but a strong voice echoed across the garden. "Princess Lyra of Relia, please do not run." 3 humans walked out of the ship, wearing black suits with glowing blue lines. They moved slowly, hands raised, showing no weapons. The leader, a calm woman with gray eyes, said, "We came for you. You are not safe here." Lyra blinked. "What? You know me?" The woman nodded softly. "We know everything about you. We know the genetic protocol. We know the purity order. And we know what the Royal Council plans to do tonight." Lyra felt her heartbeat race. How could humans know all this? The woman took 1 step closer. "Because your DNA is not weak, princess. It is unique, rare, and your people do not understand what you truly are." Lyra's voice trembled. "What am I?" The human captain looked at her with something strange in her eyes. Not fear, not pity, but respect. "You are the future of your species," she said quietly. "But your own planet wants to erase you." Lyra took 1 shaky breath. Her world was changing too fast, too suddenly, too strangely. "Why would humans help me?" she asked. The captain answered, "Because your survival will change the galaxy." Before Lyra could respond, a beam of red light shot across the garden. Royal guards had spotted the humans. Arrows of energy filled the sky. Explosions shook the ground. The humans shielded Lyra, pulling her behind them. "We must leave now," the captain shouted. "They will not stop until you are dead." Lyra stared at the burning palace. Her home, her family, her entire life was collapsing around her. She swallowed hard and whispered, "I don't want to die." The captain held out her hand. "Then come with us." Lyra hesitated only a moment, then placed her tiny hand into the captain's. The humans rushed her toward the ship as guards fired again and again. The ship's ramp closed with a loud metallic slam, and Princess Lyra left her planet for the first time in her life. Inside the ship, everything felt strange. Cold metal walls, glowing symbols, a deep humming sound. Lyra's heart raced with fear and confusion. The captain knelt in front of her. "Princess, this journey will be dangerous. What we must do next will test everything you are. But you must trust us." Lyra whispered, "Where are you taking me?" The captain looked toward a dark hallway that seemed to swallow light. "To a room no alien has ever seen, and to a truth your people have tried to hide for generations." Lyra felt the ship shake as it lifted from the ground. leaving her old life behind. She closed her eyes, unsure of her future, afraid of what she might become. But one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same again. And if you're enjoying this story so far, gently consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss the next chapter. The ship jumped into hyperspace. Lyra held onto the seat as stars stretched into white lines, and her journey into the unknown truly began. The stars kept stretching into bright lines outside the window, but Princess Lyra barely noticed them. Her small hands gripped the metal seat as the ship vibrated through hyperspace, and her mind echoed with the same thought again and again. They wanted to remove me, erase me, my own people. She felt a sting in her chest, a sharp mix of fear and betrayal. The humans stayed silent, giving her space, but their eyes followed her carefully, almost as if they were waiting for something to happen. The humming of the ship grew deeper, heavier, as if they were entering a darker part of space. Then, soft footsteps approached her. It was the captain, the calm woman with gray eyes. "Princess," she said, gently kneeling beside Lyra. "I know this is difficult, but you must understand something before we reach the testing zone." Lyra looked up, voice trembling. "You said my DNA is unique, dangerous. What does that mean? Why do humans know more about me than my own people?" The captain exhaled slowly, as if choosing her words carefully. "Your planet hides many things," she whispered, "and the genetic protocol is not a rule. It is a cover." Lyra frowned. "A cover for what?" The captain tapped a small hologram on her wrist. A floating image appeared, glowing strands of DNA twisting in the air. "This," the captain said, "is the royal DNA pattern your people consider perfect. Tall, strong, stable." Then the captain tapped again. A second image appeared, but this one looked different. Chaotic, shifting, alive. "This is your DNA." The glowing strands moved like tiny lightning, changing shape, absorbing light, almost breathing. Lyra's breath caught. "What is it doing?" The captain leaned closer. "Princess, your cells adapt. Not slowly, not naturally, but instantly. Your size is not weakness. Your size is efficiency." Lyra blinked, confused. "I don't understand." The captain's voice lowered, barely more than a whisper. "You can survive things that would kill anyone else. Heat, cold, radiation, energy blasts, maybe even genetic mutation itself." Lyra stared at the floating strands in disbelief. "But why would my people want to remove me if I'm stronger?" The captain's expression darkened. "Because any ruler with your abilities would change the balance of power. The Royal Council wants control, and something they cannot control, they destroy." Lyra felt her throat tighten. A tiny shiver passed through her body. Before she could speak, a soft alarm beeped. The humans turned toward the front screen. The ship was slowing. The captain stood. "We've arrived." Lyra looked out the window, and her eyes widened. A giant metal structure floated in the darkness. Black, silent, shaped like a sphere with sharp rings around it. Like a planet built from shadows. The captain explained. "This station does not exist on any map. It belongs to no government, no empire, only to us." Lyra whispered. "Why bring me here?" The captain replied. "Because this is the only place where we can test your abilities safely." The ship docked with a hiss of steam and metal. Lights flickered along the narrow hallway as the humans led Lyra through corridors that felt colder than space itself. Every few steps, strange machines turned toward her. Scanners shaped like eyes. Floating drones. Glass tubes filled with blue mist. Lyra felt tiny, smaller than ever before. But something inside her pulsed. A strange warmth she didn't understand. Finally, the human stopped in front of a heavy circular door. Thick metal. Layers of locks. Warning signs glowing red. The captain placed her hand on a scanner. The door opened slowly, revealing a dark room filled with machines, cables, and humming lights. A chill ran up Lyra's spine. "This," the captain said softly, "is the secret room." Lyra stepped inside. The air felt heavier, strange, almost alive. At the center stood a metal chair surrounded by holographic arms and glowing rings. Lyra whispered, Is this where you will test me? One of the human scientists nodded. It will scan your entire body, your cells, your energy levels. It may trigger your latent abilities. Lyra swallowed. Will it hurt? The scientist hesitated. We do not know. The captain placed a gentle hand on Lyra's shoulder. You can walk away. We will protect you if you refuse. Lyra looked at the chair, looked at her small hands, looked at the shadows of her past chasing her through her own memories. No, she whispered. I want to know what I am. The humans nodded and activated the machine. Lyra sat on the cold metal seat, her heart pounding against her ribs, and the rings around her began to glow. A soft hum grew louder, deeper, until it vibrated through her bones. The first blue ring slid past her head. A second ring followed, then a third. Her vision blurred. Her skin tingled. Her chest felt warm, too warm, like a hidden fire waking up. Energy rising, a scientist said. Her cells are reacting, another whispered. The lights flickered. A strange pulse shot through Lyra's body. Not pain, but power. Her fingertips glowed faintly. The captain stayed in shock. Wait, her energy signature. This is not possible. A sudden alarm screamed. The rings spun faster. The holograms flashed red. The floor vibrated violently. What's happening? Lyra cried out. The scientist shouted. Her adaptation ability is accelerating. We can't control it. The room grew brighter and brighter, until Lyra's entire body shined like white fire. The captain stepped back, eyes wide. Stop the machine. Shut it down. Too late, a scientist yelled. The rings cracked. The lights exploded. The entire station shook. Lyra screamed, not in pain, but in something deeper, stranger, like her body was waking from thousands of years of sleep. And then, everything went white. Everything went silent. Everything changed, forever. White light swallowed the room, then shattered into a storm of drifting sparks, slowly fading, slowly dimming, until the testing chamber returned to darkness. For a long moment, no one moved. The humans stayed at the center of the room, at the smoking metal chair, at the cracked scanner rings, at the air itself trembling with leftover energy. The captain whispered, Lyra. No answer. A thin fog floated through the chamber. Soft glowing dust drifted like tiny stars. The machines around them buzzed and sparked, as if struggling to understand what they had just witnessed. The captain stepped forward carefully, boots crunching against shattered glass, eyes scanning the glowing haze. Find her, she ordered, voice low. Find the princess now. Two scientists rushed ahead, but one suddenly stopped, hand raised. I feel something, he said. A faint pulse, like a heartbeat, vibrated through the air. Be dumb, be dumb, be dumb. Slow at first, then stronger, echoing through the metal walls. The scientists exchanged nervous looks. Energy levels rising again. It's coming from the center. No, it's everywhere. The lights flickered. Once, twice, and then a shadow moved inside the fog. The captain froze. Princess. The fog parted slightly, revealing a small silhouette, barely 4 feet tall, but surrounded by a soft golden aura. Lyra staggered forward. Her steps were slow, unsteady, as if her body was learning how to walk again. Her hair floated as if underwater. Her fingertips glowed like tiny suns. Her eyes were no longer silver and soft. They burned with swirling gold. Bright, sharp, almost ancient. The humans stayed in shock. The captain whispered, her energy levels. They are still rising. Lyra looked down at her hands, eyes wide with confusion, voice trembling like a child waking from a nightmare. What happened to me? The scientist nearest her swallowed hard. You activated the adaptive gene. Your body changed. Lyra felt her chest, felt the strange warmth flowing beneath her skin, a warmth that never existed before. I feel different, she whispered. I feel like something inside me woke up. The captain stepped closer, very slowly. Princess, can you hear any voices? See anything unusual? Feel anything strange? Lyra nodded weakly. I can't feel everything. The scientist frowned. Everything. Lyra closed her eyes. I can hear your heartbeat. All of yours. I can feel the power grid of this station. The air moving around the wires. The stars outside. Her voice wavered. And I can feel someone else too. Someone far away. Looking for me. The humans stiffened in alarm. Who is looking for you? The captain asked. Lyra opened her golden eyes. And something cold passed through her voice. My people. Before anyone could react, the station shook violently. A deep, thunderous boom echoed through the metal walls. Red warning lights began flashing. Impact detected. Unknown ships approaching. They found us. How do they track us so fast? The captain turned toward Lyra, eyes filled with urgency and fear. Princess, are they tracking your energy signature? Lyra shook her head slowly. No, they are following something else. What? What could be stronger than your energy spike? Lyra took a trembling step backward, her golden aura flickering. They are following me. Her voice cracked. I'm connected to them now. When I changed, something inside me reached out. They felt it. Another impact slammed into the station, sending sparks raining from the ceiling. The humans grabbed the rails as the floor shook. Shields dropping. Weapons powering up. This is a full attack. Princess, we need to evacuate, now. But Lyra didn't move. Her legs refused to respond. Her eyes widened with terror. They're not here to capture me. She whispered. They're here to stop what I'm becoming. The captain grabbed her arm. Lyra, we have to go. We don't have time. But Lyra pulled away, a new fear rising in her voice. A fear deeper than death. No, you don't understand. She looked at the door as it sealed shut. Her aura grew brighter, her pupils narrow, as she whispered in a trembling breath. They aren't coming to kill me. They're coming to destroy this entire station, because they think I've already turned into a weapon. A massive explosion ripped through the left wing of the station. Alarms screamed. Metal groaned. Lights shattered. And for the first time, Princess Lyra felt something even more terrifying than fear. She felt herself getting stronger. Much stronger. Too strong. The golden light around her pulsed violently, and the humans slowly stepped back. Because in that moment, they weren't sure which danger was greater. The alien army outside, or the tiny glowing princess standing in front of them, whose power was rising with every breath she took. The station groaned like a dying beast as another explosion tore through the outer ring. Metal screamed. Lights flickered. Gravity trembled for a split second, as if the entire structure was struggling to stay alive. Humans ran through the hallway outside the chamber, shouting orders. But inside the testing room, all the noise felt distant, because every person's eyes were locked on Lyra. Her aura wasn't golden anymore. It had deepened, turning into a shifting storm of gold and white, like energy searching for a way out. The captain whispered, "She's destabilizing again." A scientist swallowed hard. Her cells are still adapting. They are responding to the attack, trying to defend her. Lyra hugged her arms around herself, breathing fast. I can't stop it, she said, voice shaking. It's building inside me. It keeps getting bigger, like something wants to burst out. The captain stepped forward slowly, palms raised, as if approaching a frightened wild creature. Princess, listen to me. You in control. Not your power. Not your genes. You. But Lyra shook her head violently. No, you don't understand. It's not listening to me anymore. Her eyes glowed brighter, so bright the humans shielded their faces. Then, a deep, vibrating hum rolled through the entire room. The air thinned. The temperature spiked. Loose objects rattled and lifted into the air. Lyra gasped. It's reacting to the danger outside. The captain looked toward the metal walls shaking under enemy fire. Is it protecting you? Lyra closed her eyes, and for a moment, she was somewhere else. A dark void, a cold wind, and then a whisper in her mind. You are ours. You cannot run. You cannot change. You belong to the protocol. Lyra screamed and fell to her knees. The captain grabbed her shoulders. Lyra, what happened? Lyra's voice broke. I heard them. The council. The elders. They are speaking in my head. They can feel my power growing. They think I'm becoming a threat to the galaxy. The scientist muttered, horrified. Telepathic genetic link. The old rulers used this once. It's been forbidden for centuries. The captain tightened her grip on Lyra. They are trying to control you. No, Lyra whispered, trembling. They are trying to erase me. Before the captain could respond, a massive, thunderous impact hit the station. So strong the walls cracked and lights burst into sparks. The floor tilted. Gravity failed for 3 seconds. Everyone floated helplessly. Then gravity snapped back violently, throwing them to the ground. Outer hull breached. Deck 4 is gone. Enemy ships boarding. Multiple points. Evacuate. Evacuate now. The captain grabbed Lyra's hand. We're leaving. Now. But Lyra didn't move. Her golden aura had turned almost white, flickering like an unstable star. I can feel them, she whispered. They're coming for me. Not the station. Not the humans. Just me. The captain tried pulling her, but Lyra's feet stayed rooted to the floor, as if invisible energy held her in place. Lyra, please. Suddenly, boom, the chamber door blasted inward, sending metal shards flying. Humans dove behind equipment, shouting. A cloud of smoke filled the entrance. Through it, shapes appeared. Tall, armored, royal insignias glowing on their chests. Elite purity enforcers. The deadliest soldiers in Lyra's entire empire. The captain whispered, horrified. They actually sent them. The strongest unit in the royal army. Lyra's heart dropped. These weren't ordinary soldiers. They were the ones who carried out secret erasures. The ones sent to destroy genetic mistakes. Their leaders stepped forward. A towering figure in silver armor. Helmet shaped like a smooth mask with glowing red eyes. He spoke in a cold, emotionless voice. Princess Lyra of Relia, by order of the High Council, you are to be neutralized immediately. Lyra tried to step back, but her body trembled, paralyzed by fear and raw power. The captain moved in front of her, shielding her with her own body. You will not touch her. The enforcer tilted his helmet. Human interference will not change the decree. Move aside, or be eliminated. The captain's jaw tightened. No. The enforcers raised their weapons. Sleek, needle-like rifles crackling with violet plasma. The captain whispered to Lyra without turning her head. Princess, listen to me. Whatever is happening inside you, you have to control it. Now, or none of us will survive. Lyra shook her head desperately. I can't make it stop. It's too much. Lyra. The captain's voice sharpened. You are not a mistake. You are not weak. You are not what they say. The enforcers charged their weapons. The captain shouted. Lyra, you decide who you are, not them. Something inside Lyra snapped, or awakened. A brilliant white pulse erupted from her body, blinding, shaking, and filled with raw, unfiltered power. The enforcers fired, but the shots dissolved inches from her skin, as if the air itself bent around her. The station lights shattered. The floor cracked. The metal walls rippled like water. And the enforcers, the strongest elite soldiers of her empire, were lifted off their feet and slammed into the walls. Every human stayed in silent terror and awe. The captain whispered, Oh my God. Lyra stood at the center of the destruction, white energy swirling around her like a living storm, her eyes glowing like 2 burning stars. She looked at the fallen soldiers, then at her trembling hands, and whispered in a voice not entirely her own. I didn't mean to do that. But her power was still rising, still growing, still unstable, and everyone, humans and aliens, slowly realized the same horrifying truth. If Princess Lyra could not control her awakening soon, she would not need an army to destroy the station. She would do it herself, unintentionally. The air around Lyra twisted like heat rising from a dying sun. White cracks of light spread across the floor beneath her feet, glowing like roots searching for escape. The humans backed away instinctively, not because she scared them, but because the raw energy radiating from her tiny body Felt like standing next to a newborn star. Lyra hugged her arms around herself, voice trembling with guilt and fear. I didn't want to hurt them. I didn't want to hurt anyone. But the captain shook her head immediately. Lyra, listen to me. What you just fought were elite purity enforcers. They came here to kill you. You defended yourself. You survived. And that is not your fault. Lyra looked up, eyes shimmering with confusion. But I didn't control it. I didn't even know what I was doing. If you were standing closer, I could have destroyed you. The captain stepped forward, ignoring the sparks and tremors around Lyra. Maybe, but you didn't. And that means something. Before Lyra could answer, the entire station shuddered. Sirens wailed. Emergency lights switched from red to deep purple, a color Lyra had never seen before. The scientist nearest the wall paled. That's a catastrophic breach alarm. Deck 2 just collapsed, and the main reactor is overheating. The captain cursed under her breath. They are trying to overload the station. They want to bury all evidence. Lyra's eyes widened. They're going to destroy everything, even their own soldiers. They don't care, the captain said. Erasing you matters more. Lyra felt a cold wave pass through her, a strange mix of sadness and rage. My own people want me dead so badly that they are willing to kill everyone here. The captain looked straight into her eyes. Not everyone, just you. Another explosion shook the room, this time so violent that ceiling panels collapsed. The humans ducked, but Lyra's energy reacted instantly, forming a shimmering barrier over all of them. The falling metal hit the barrier, melted, and dissolved into glowing dust. The humans stayed in awe. The captain whispered, Lyra, you protected us without even trying. Lyra looked at her glowing hands, a tear rolling down her cheek. I didn't mean to. I just didn't want anyone else to get hurt. You saved us, the captain said gently. That is who you truly are. But Lyra's breath hitched. I don't know how long I can hold this power. It keeps growing. It won't stop. Suddenly, the scientist monitoring the holoscreen gasped. Oh no, the royal flagship has entered orbit. Lyra froze. The flagship. You mean, the High Council? Yes, the scientist whispered. And they are charging something. A weapon. A massive one. The captain's face darkened. They're going to fire on the station. Lyra's heart pounded. They wouldn't. Not with their own soldiers inside. They would, the captain said coldly. And they will. A deep vibration rolled through the space station, like the breath of a giant beast waking in the dark. The walls creaked. Lights dimmed. The atmosphere thickened. Lyra could suddenly feel something terrible, spreading across space like a shadow. A signal. Cold. Commanding. Cruel. Her people were calling to her, forcing the ancient telepathic bond. A bond only royals possessed. Her vision blurred. Her head throbbed. Voices whispered inside her skull. Submit. Return to the protocol. You are a threat to the line. You must be erased. Lyra clutched her head and collapsed to her knees. The captain caught her before she hit the floor. Lyra, stay with me. But Lyra's voice broke. They're in my mind. They are trying to shut me down. I can't think. I can't breathe. Fight them, the captain shouted. Lyra shook her head violently. I can't. Her aura crackled, white lightning shooting across the ceiling. The scientist staggered backward. Her readings are spiking again, dangerously high. If she loses control inside this station, the entire structure will collapse. The captain held Lyra's face gently. Lyra, listen to me. Close your eyes. Breathe. You are stronger than they are. Lyra squeezed her eyes shut, tears slipping down her cheeks. I don't feel strong. I feel scared. I feel like a monster. The captain leaned forward, forehead touching Lyra's. You are not a monster. You are a child they failed to understand. A life they tried to erase. A future they fear. Lyra trembled. But what if I hurt you? What if I hurt everyone? The captain whispered. Then we will help you control it. Together. Lyra breathed shakily. Together. That was something she never had before. Suddenly, a violent tremor shook the station again. The scientists screamed. They fired the first charge. It hit the outer shield. The captain pulled Lyra up. "We're out of time. Princess, can you walk?" Lyra nodded weakly, though her legs trembled like they might give out. The captain wrapped an arm around her. "We're getting to the evacuation pods." But the scientists stopped them. "No, you don't understand. The pods are useless. The flagship weapon is designed to vaporize everything in a 10,000-meter radius." The captain's face went white. "Then what do we do?" The scientist pointed at Lyra, hands shaking. "Only she can survive the blast." Lyra froze. "What? Me? What are you saying?" The scientist looked at her with equal parts fear and awe. "Princess Lyra, you are the only living being who can withstand a weapon of that magnitude." "You mean," Lyra swallowed, "you want Emmy to stop it?" The scientist whispered, "No, we want you to absorb it." The captain's eyes widened. "That could kill her." "No," the scientist said quietly. "It could awaken her. Fully." Lyra's breath hitched. She stayed at the ceiling, feeling the hum of the charging weapon in the distance, feeling death approaching, and deep inside her chest, the power she feared so much stirred again. Lyra whispered, "If I try this, I may not come back." The captain squeezed her hand. "And if you don't try, none of us will come back." Lyra looked at her glowing fingers, felt the unstable energy inside her, and took a trembling step toward destiny. The station shook again. Warning lights screamed. The flagship weapon reached full charge. And Princess Lyra, the tiny girl her people once called useless, lifted her chin and whispered, "Tell me what I must do." The corridor leading to the upper deck shook again, this time so violently that cracks spread across the metal floor like lightning. The emergency lights flickered. Purple, red, purple again, warning that the next blast would be fatal. The captain grabbed Lyra's hand and began moving quickly, but Lyra's steps were slow, unsteady, every breath burning with pressure building inside her. As they rushed through the smoke-filled hallways, the distant thrum of the flagship weapon pulsed in Lyra's bones, as if her body recognized the danger before her mind could understand it. The captain whispered urgently, "We need to get to the reactor sphere. It's the only place with enough structural shielding." Lyra's eyes widened. "The reactor? But that's—" "Yes," the captain said sharply. "The most dangerous place on the station, but also the only place that can survive the first blast long enough for you to absorb it." Lyra swallowed hard. Her golden aura flickered like a candle fighting the wind. They reached a steep metal staircase spiral leading up toward the reactor dome. But before they could climb, a thunderous crash echoed from behind them. The corridor door exploded, metal shards flying like knives, and a squad of Purity enforcers stormed in. Their armor glowed with high-energy markings. Their weapons hummed with violet heat. The leader spoke in a voice that felt too calm for the chaos around them. "Princess Lyra, you have become a threat to the royal line. Surrender now, and your death will be painless." Lyra felt her heart twist, a mix of fear and something sharper. She stepped back behind the captain. The captain lifted her weapon. "You'll have to go through me first." The enforcer tilted his head. "Very well." He raised his rifle. Lyra screamed, "No!" A burst of white energy shot from her in panic. The walls rippled. The floor bent like soft metal, and the enforcers were thrown backward, as if struck by a hurricane. But the blast was different this time. It didn't throw them far. It threw them through the wall. The metal tore apart like paper, and the enforcers vanished into the darkness beyond the hull. The hull glowed orange at the edges, a breach straight into open space. Lyra stared at her trembling hands in shock. I didn't mean to." The captain grabbed her shoulders firmly. "Stop apologizing. They attacked you. You defended us. Now move." But Lyra couldn't look away from the destruction. Her heart felt heavy, too heavy, as if every bit of power she unleashed carried a piece of her humanity with it. The captain didn't let her think. She pulled Lyra up the staircase, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Listen to me. The more you hesitate, the more control your people will take from you. You are fighting two battles, one outside and one inside your own mind." Lyra whispered weakly, "I hear them. The council, calling to me again. That made the captain freeze. What are they saying? Lyra closed her eyes, and her voice dropped into a hollow whisper. Return to the protocol. Return to purity. You are not real. You are not rightful. You are not allowed. The captain clenched her jaw. They are trying to break you. Lyra shook her head. They are not just trying to break me. They are trying to overwrite me. Her voice trembled, like erasing a mistake from a page. The captain took her hand again. You are not a mistake, and you are not alone. They reached the reactor dome, a circular door sealed with massive rotating locks. The scientist arrived behind them. Panting, glasses cracked. He slapped his hand on the scanner. The locks glowed, spun, clicked open. The door slid aside, releasing a wave of heat and blinding white-blue light. Lyra gasped. The reactor sphere was enormous. A bright core suspended in the center of the chamber by massive energy rings. Electric arcs danced across the air, like lightning trapped in a cage. The captain led her inside. The door slammed shut behind them. The scientist worked frantically at the control panel. Princess, come stand at the core. Lyra stepped closer, the air sizzling around her. The closer she got, the more her aura reacted. White sparks floating off her skin. The scientist shouted over the rising hum of the reactor. The flagship weapon is seconds away from firing. When it hits the station, the energy will travel through the hull and into the reactor field. If you stand inside, your adaptive cells should pull the energy inward. Lyra shouted back, frightened. And if they don't? Then the entire station vaporizes. Another violent tremor shook the dome. The flagship was charging its final strike. Lyra's heart pounded. Her tiny hands shook. Her breath came fast. I'm not ready. I don't know how. I can't. The captain grabbed her shoulders, leaned down to her level, and said with absolute conviction, Lyra, you can. You are the only one who can. Look at everything you've survived already. Look at what they fear in you. Lyra trembled. But what if I lose myself? The captain's voice softened. Then we will bring you back. Lyra swallowed hard. Then she stepped forward, with fear in her heart, but fire in her eyes. She walked to the glowing core, the white-blue energy swirling around her tiny frame, like a storm welcoming its queen. Her aura shifted, white becoming silver, silver becoming gold, gold becoming something entirely new. The hum grew louder. The station shook. And then, a piercing beam of destructive energy sliced through space and struck the station. The flagship had fired. The blast hit the outer hull. It raced through the corridors. It surged into the reactor chamber, and Princess Lyra opened her glowing eyes. As the wave of death reached her, she whispered, I accept this. The beam collided with her aura. The entire dome exploded with light. The humans shielded their eyes, and tiny Princess Lyra absorbed the impossible. But as the light faded, something else appeared behind her. A shadow, tall, shifting, made of pure energy, watching her, waiting, not human, not alien, something older, something connected to her awakening. Her destiny had just taken a terrifying turn, and she had no idea what had just awakened with her. The world returned slowly. First sound, then heat, then the trembling sensation of her own heartbeat. Princess Lyra opened her eyes, but her vision was blurred by glowing afterimages. Everything felt distant, like she was underwater inside a dream that wasn't hers. The reactor chamber was silent. Too silent. The humans crouched behind the consoles, faces pale, still shielding their eyes from the blast she had absorbed. But none of them were looking at her. They were staring behind her, staring at the thing that stood in the white haze. Lyra turned slowly, fear crawling up her spine, and then she saw it, a shape made of light and shadow, shifting like a giant carved from living energy. It had no face, just two white burning eyes, long limbs, flowing lines like ancient symbols across its body. It was both beautiful and horrifying. Lyra whispered, barely breathing, What are you? The figure tilted its head, a slow, unnatural motion, as if studying her. Its voice didn't come from its mouth. It came from everywhere, a deep echo that shook the chamber. You have awakened, child. Lyra stepped back instinctively, but the figure followed, not walking, but gliding, like a phantom made of starlight. The captain raised her weapon immediately. "Stay back. Do not approach her." The entity ignored her completely. Lyra's heart pounded stronger. "Who are you?" she asked again, voice trembling. This time, the answer felt like it carved itself into her bones. "We are the Forgotten Line." Lyra frowned. I don't know what that is." The being moved closer, and the room dimmed around it, as if its presence stole the light. The captain shouted, "Lyra, don't let it come near you." But Lyra couldn't move. The air around her felt thick, pulling her toward the figure, like gravity had shifted. The figure's voice echoed again, "Long before the protocol, before the royal lines, before your kind chose fear, there were those like you." Lyra's breath hitched. "Like me? You mean small? Weak?" The glowing eyes burned brighter. "Small? Yes. Weak? No." The entity raised an arm, and the energy around Lyra's body responded, like metal answering a magnet. Her aura brightened, white swirling into gold again. The humans backed away, terrified. The scientist whispered, "What is that thing?" The captain lowered her weapon slightly, eyes fixed on the spectral being. "Something ancient and connected to her." Lyra stepped backward again, but the figure's voice wrapped around her like a chain. "Your people erased us from history. They feared what our size hid, what our cells could become." Lyra's eyes widened. "You mean, I'm not a mistake?" The figure leaned closer. "No, child. You are the original design." The chamber temperature dropped suddenly. Frost spread across the metal flooring. The hum of the reactor quieted, as if the station itself was listening. Lyra whispered, "Why did they erase you? Why do they want to erase me?" The being's form flickered, its voice now laced with something darker. "Because those who cannot evolve fear those who can." Lyra's pulse raced. "But what do you want from me?" The figure lifted a hand and pointed toward her chest. "You have awakened only the first part. There is more, much more." Lyra felt a pressure in her lungs, a weight behind her ribs, like something inside her was waiting to be released. She shook her head, stepping back. No, I don't want more. I can't even control what I have now." The entity's voice dropped into a soft echo. "Control comes with understanding. You are the heir of our forgotten power. You can end the protocol, or become its final weapon." Lyra froze. "Weapon?" The word felt like a wound. "I don't want to be a weapon." The room shook, not from an explosion, but from her. Her aura surged, white light ripping across the room like lightning. The entity floated backward, unaffected. "Your will shapes your path," it said calmly, "but your path has already begun." The captain stepped beside Lyra, placing a hand on her shoulder. "She chooses her own fate. Not you, not the council, not anyone." The entity's burning eyes turned toward the captain, scanning her, measuring her. Then it spoke. "Your loyalty to the child is rare. Humans were once feared for their defiance." The captain didn't blink. "Still are." A strange rumble passed through the figure, almost amusement. Then it turned back to Lyra. "The flagship will fire again. Stronger, deadlier. If you do not rise to your full state, none of you will survive." The scientist nearly choked. "A full state? You mean what she used just now wasn't everything?" The entity's voice shook the walls. What she used was a spark, a whisper, a breath. Lyra felt dizzy. She whispered, "If I awaken completely, what happens to me?" The being leaned closer until its glowing eyes were inches from hers. "You ascend." Silence. Even the reactors seemed to stop humming. The captain whispered, "What does that mean?" The figure replied, "She becomes what she was born to be, a being who can shape energy with thought, bend weapons into dust, command stars." Lyra's breath grew shaky. "And if I refuse?" The being's answer was colder than space. "Then you die, and your people consume the galaxy unchallenged." Lyra staggered backward. The weight of destiny pressed against her, a crushing force she was never meant to carry. I didn't ask for any of this, she whispered. I just wanted to live. The being lowered its head, its form flickering like a dying flame. No one asked you, but fate chose you. The captain stepped forward sharply. That's enough. She's a child, not your vessel. The being's eyes narrowed. Child or not, she carries the flame of the forgotten line. It is rising. It cannot be stopped, only guided. The chamber trembled again. This time, the tremor was deeper, longer, more dangerous. The scientist checked his console and turned pale. The flagship is charging its second shot. It's 3 times stronger than the first. Lyra's stomach dropped, but I absorbed the first one. Barely. What if I can't take this? The entity slowly extended a hand toward her. You can, if you ascend. The captain blocked the way immediately. No, whatever ascend means. You don't get to force it. But the entity simply drifted around her, ignoring the barrier she tried to form. Lyra stepped back, fear choking her. I'm not ready. I'm not strong enough. I'm not. The entity's voice boomed. You are enough. The ceiling cracked. The walls shook. The second blast was seconds away. Lyra's aura flared again, bright as dawn, fierce as a star, and the entity whispered, Child of the forgotten line, choose. Lyra's knees weakened. Her hands trembled. Her heart pounded painfully. Then she whispered through a trembling breath, If I ascend, will I still be me? The entity paused, and for the first time, its voice softened. Only if your heart is stronger than your power. The flagship's weapon fired. The station screamed. The chamber filled with blinding light. Lyra closed her eyes and stepped forward, straight into the second blast. This time, not to survive, but to awaken.